Connor's is quite different because he's also on top of that including Azamina cards and Fiendsmith cards. So his extra deck is totally different, not really synchro summoning reliant anymore, but instead more so focusing on fusion summons.
Yep. I mean, you put up an easy negate there, and that added with the reliability and the draw engine of the Runicks is going to cause some trouble in the grind game. The players have 2 losses or 3 draws so far, and there's still some chance for them to enter the top cut. Of course, high chances to enter day 2, which is also a goal that many players have.
Fun fact, Connor, who plays Runick Bystial, has only monsters in his hand, and Tenpai has only spells in his hand.
That's unusual when you see a Runick deck starting without any kind of spell cards. But you see, in his deck there's plenty of them, but apparently they have not found their way into the opening hand. But yeah, generally speaking, it's always good as a Tenpai player to lose the die roll, right? Because you don't give away the information to your opponent just yet that you're playing a going second deck. Your opponent just wants to go first anyways, and therefore the surprise factor is going to be with Ed here, as his opponent is unaware of him being on a go second strategy. But of course, Connor is very aware of putting up a massive field, as we do see him going the Hollowed Azamina, and Hollowed Azamina sends the Deception to bring out his first Azamina extra deck monster, which is the Ilya Sylvia. Right away going for the one that is able to negate, interestingly enough. Sometimes you see them going for the Murcielago. Wait, that is Murcielago. My bad, this is Murcielago first. So Murcielago using the effect. I was wondering, because usually you try to go Murcielago and then Ilya Sylvia, which is probably going to be the game plan here along the lines of this turn. But let's see from Connor, going for the best Bystial possible. If you want to draw a Bystial, it's usually this one, because Magnamut is just going to replace itself in the end phase again.
With another monster, which makes it likelier to draw a spell card in the next turn.
At least that, yeah, you're right, for sure. If there is going to be a next turn, though, because we see Adstack, haven't even mentioned it so far. Of course, still the reigning European champion deck, being the Tenpai Dragon strategy. At this point, decently hit on the Forbidden Unlimited list, but still strong enough to compete here. Of course, by adding my most favorite Sky Striker cards. Which deck could not get any better by adding Sky Striker cards, obviously.
To be fair, Tenpai Sky Striker has some success during the previous YCS, so I'm really excited to see how it can adapt and, of course, play against the field that Runick Bystial will establish.
For sure, because the deck is definitely designed to play through fields. It's what it's supposed to do. It doesn't really play many hand interactions, it just relies on some breaking cards, and therefore I could see this going well.
I mean, you're saying Runick Bystial, but so far we've seen Azamina cards linked often to the Fiendsmith engine.
You're right, yeah. We're getting there, Leo.
Yeah.
Don't be greedy. Okay, and we have gotten access to spell cards, of course. Now we can go Requiem, equipping to the Lacrima, and that does absolutely look like we're going to go into Necroco Princess. Do we have a card we can discard to maybe draw for a card here? No, we just go for Engraver, putting back the Moon of the Closed Heaven. I think we're just going to... Yeah, we're just going to exceed some of these two.
Pilgrim Reaper, and now we start milling?
Yep. Nope. What is it going to be? It is, of course, going to be the usual DDD King. Oh, that's a very heads-up call, summoning this guy in defense position, playing around, of course, something possibly like a Lightning Storm. So we said Ed has the advantage of surprise, but maybe Connor and Ed sat next to each other in the previous round out in the field. Maybe Connor knows what's going on here, because usually in game number 1 at least, you do not summon this card in defense position, but rather in tech position. But here, it's very heads up and smart, but that's the field he has created. Honestly, this looks like something any kind of good Tenpai Sky Striker deck could break. Let's start off nice,
hilarious. It's so hilarious that this deck actually gives their opponent life points as well, just saying, hey, if I want to win the game this turn, 1,000 life points do not matter, 3,000 life points do not matter, I can even half my damage.
10,000! Give him all the life points. Trident Dragon can just get them all of the way anyways.
Picking up
and
more
when
spells.
3 spells are in the graveyard, Sky Striker cards are going to be so much powerful.
Oh, what's next?
Well, this looks like an afterburner, but this is not the card that you want to activate necessarily when you have 2 cards in the graveyard and your opponent has a spell or trap card set.
I think we do just go for the Salespan first, maybe, because he's running Salespan as well. To be fair, though, the afterburner probably is getting negated by the Ilya Sylvia. Oh, we do have Dark Hole! We may as well do that, of course.
Gonna bring that card up for everyone to read in case you don't know the card.
I mean, if people followed the coverage of the European Championship in the summer of last year, they are pretty aware of Dark Hole, of course, and we do negate the Dark Hole with the
And now
Elias
we have
Sylvia.
3 spells in the graveyard.
That is going to prove
Aye.
costly because there is triple tactics thrust in the hand of Ed. And
Indeed. Oh, we go Salesman first, though. And now I could imagine this possibly just going for Fiendsmith Requiem or for the Bystial in hand. Triple Tactic Thrust now as well. Ed has all the spell cards. And the good thing about this spell card is it can technically net him Engine if he just wants to get out the terraforming. So Ed might finally reveal what kind of strategy he actually mainly is
also,
on here.
this could have called Ash Blossom as well.
Yeah, true. You're right. Good
I think
call.
That's actually very much reason. Oh, there
The
is
new altar
oh
of
my
Engage.
Engage. This
My
is so
favorite
good.
card of all time. Sky Striker, mobilize, engage. Sky Striker, enjoyers. Please engage with each
Rise
other
up.
and search out that after. Oh no, that
Engage
Widow
and draw.
Anchor. Oh, I think we drew into Sung and Kaiman there. Things are looking right
So
for Ed right now.
Connor at this point only sees Sky Striker cards and is probably going to think, okay, what do I do next turn? Why did he search Terraforming, by the way? How good is Area 0 in this matchup? Well, let me tell you
You're
something.
destroyed with Afterburners to special summon Ray.
There you go, Afterburner on the Caesar.
Good
Connor
idea.
is seeing his field disappearing. The deception was known that it was
boy.
set there, but still we may as well get rid of it. Hornet Jones is summoning out a token. There we have
Ed
it.
is playing with Connor at this point.
He really is.
He is Azamina deceiving him, really. Going for a token here, trying to possibly get out a negate. There's the Druid Worm.
Yeah, I mean, the first time that Ed actually has a monster on the field, therefore the Druid
Yeah.
Worm finally becomes a quick effect on the opponent's turn. And we do decide to just banish the Magnamut here.
But I mean, the Druid Worm doesn't immediately do anything. You know that Ed has searched for the Widow Anchor.
Oh!
We're going Ball Drake. That makes sense. But the Widow Anchor is kind of very good against this field now.
It is indeed. So let's see.
I think you just go Kagari, and whatever happens, happens.
Kagari, of course, most likely targeting the engage, of course, is now Connor facing the decision of whether he wants to use the Ball Drake on this. So far, he has not seen anything but Tenpai cards. But honestly, when we are searching out the terraforming, I think there is very, very, very solid reason to believe that this is not just pure Sky Strikers and rather the Tenpai Striker deck.
To be honest, it will be the same even if it's Sky Striker, he can just take engage, and if he is playing pure Sky Striker, he can just grab the Ray here.
Yeah, the only annoying thing here, though, is Druid Worm is sent to the graveyard without having another card that it can send to the graveyard then. Oh no, and now another engage, grabs another Widow Anchor. Ed is rolling here. He does not stop drawing cards. That is what this card is doing for years now.
At this point, he doesn't even need it anymore.
Yeah,
He's
true.
so set up for anything.
He already has both of the good one-offs here.
Yeah. Oh, talents as well. Look
we
at
may
the
as
hand.
well have a
what
look
do I
there.
take? Takes out the Lubellion there. You are left with the talents in hand, and now nothing is stopping him from activating Terraforming, Searching, Sangan Summoning to just expect a scoop from his opponent. I'm just gonna say it, if Sangan Summoning is on the field, this is a forfeit.
There technically still is the Lacrima in the graveyard with the Requiem, right? So we...
That does a lot versus a field with Sangan Summoning.
I mean, possibly in the battle phase, but I don't even know whether Connor in his version of the deck even is playing the trap card, you know, because he is already playing so many different engines, so maybe he's just rather keeping the Fiendsmith engine a little bit smaller and therefore not playing Fiendsmith in Paradise, but we are probably going to see shortly here. We do go search out the Chandra, and the good thing is, when you do normal out the Chandra, you do have ways to just play around Fiendsmith of Paradise completely even, because when they can activate Fiendsmith of Paradise for the first time, you already have multiple Tenpai monsters on the field being able to dodge the effect and just synchro summon with them. So very, very heads-up play here. There is now the Chandra. You could even use the Ball Drake here to go into Transcendence in the battle phase, having the Kaiman still. So Ed really having all the tools here. He's not worried about anything, just attacking. Connor. Probably Connor is just asking himself, is he able to do 10,000 points of damage? Because that is quite a bit, of course.
I have a rough idea of how much damage Ed can do in this turn. Man, our host is doing a good job at this dragon strategy.
Yeah, he's a real Tenpai enjoyer. Now synchro summoning with Fadra and Chandra, bringing out the almighty Biden Dragon.
Gets out the Fadra, gets out the Chandra once again.
Yeah, look at that. This is already so much damage, and
Connor
Connor
is
is
smiling,
looking at
yeah.
us being like, yeah, I know what's going on here. I don't think we even attacked there. We just attack with the Transcendian, we can bring back the Biden, and that's all we need here, basically. Making completely sure Sangen Kaiman also activated. Connor is nodding, but he wants Ed to play it out.
He doesn't scoop here.
Yeah.
I'm now convinced that Connor is not the guy to scoop games.
I mean, he's playing a very unique deck, so it's common to get some info.
But that is no more... Yeah, you've only been in this game for a while, don't worry about it. So it does very much look like Connor is going first, and this time he does have access to the most powerful of the Runick cards, to the Runick Fountain, and the branded Regain now as well. And that's, of course,
okay,
wow, that
right,
combination
there we
is
are.
actually insane. And now just imagine, is there any light and dark ones in the main deck of ads? Probably not, right? Because that would be extra value you get out of that Regain already on the field. But we just search for Flashing Fire. That's fine.
Is that a Metal Bronze?
So, next up, Runick Slumber.
Runick cards are very good against the Tenpai because at this moment a lot of cards are limited, so they can hit targets like Pydra, Kaiman.
That's true.
Very much, very much.
If you don't hit them, it's still a risky game to play. But Hugin is a good... I mean, I like that the Runick cards can just at any point special summon monsters to prevent some damage.
Okay, we're drawing free here, and Connor just keeps on adding spell cards here, I believe. Now the Hugin resolving, getting the second copy of Runick Fountain. Honestly, it has been a while since I saw a Runick deck. Those strategies were not super popular, I think mainly due to the existence of Detonator in the game, because Detonator just does very, very well against Runick Fountain and can deal with it fantastically. Because even if the Runick players are chaining their quick spells to summon out Hugin, you can always just chain the Detonator again, so it does become really, really tough. Okay, Droll and Lockbird is in the deck of Ed. Both of them, three of them are gone now right away. And the Sangen summoning, one of those one-ups you don't want to get rid of. That's tough. Oh, and Ed does get to draw a card though through the droplet. And next up, we can draw some more cards.
The triple Drone Lockbird would have been way better in the hand of Ed.
Oh yeah.
I won't say that much.
Honestly, at this point though, not drawing them actually is quite nice. Like getting them out of the way when you did not open them, I think is appreciated. But let's see here. Again,
Especially
Connor, no Azamina cards inside.
And Connor has two talents in his hand, so Troll might be very, unique options right here.
I mean, Sangen Kaiman in hand, Pydra in hand. Pydra not really with the targets really anymore. But Ed has no answer to the face-down cards here.
Dark Hole for Hugin, that's quite a trade, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I mean, the thing is, Hugin is mandatory to activate in the graveyard, meaning if there is a triple tactic Talons or a triple tactic Thrust in the hand of Ed, that will be live with the... Wait, Hugin is mandatory though. I'm not making that up, right? I'm pretty sure it is mandatory. Now there's the drones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is mandatory, and I think that is quite important because for sure Ed is playing triple tactic Talons.
And he has it in hand as well.
Oh yeah, there it is. Hugin goes into the extra deck, activates. Oh, he does even have it in the hand. Did you spot it? That's so much more important than even drones.
Or
bringing out.
Maybe I'm crazy. That's also okay. Because at the second glimpse, I didn't see it immediately anymore. Now we have a token already.
Oh, but there is Runick's hip for Connor. Is Connor going to maybe also get rid of the one-off Chandra? That would be so massive. But no, another Pydra. Not having anything to do there in the deck anyways.
But I mean, this is gonna mean just way more banishes now. Because Tip just replaces itself, and once you have Fountain on the field, you can activate from hand at any time.
That is true. Okay. We do next up go for the Kagari. And honestly, I think Ed is fine taking this freezing curses on the Kagari because that's not the monster you necessarily need to resolve. You need the Tenpai cards, as we just saw in the last game, to finish the game off. And therefore that means we can't use freezing curses on a potential Chandra anymore. And still no Chandra gone. Ed still having access to this card in his deck. But Connor now with another 2 draws.
I think this is the point where you activate Talent, if Ed even realized that Hugin activated, which is a whole different story.
Yeah, it was a little bit messy with the Hugin going to the extra deck there, but...
Yeah. I think Ed has a idea
Ed knows his stuff, and he goes for the triple tactic Talons. Connor also reminded that that is now available.
Wow.
And we do just get rid of the engraver there, seeing that there is nothing that Connor can activate from hand for the rest of the turn.
Runick Destruction was in there, I think. Oh, it was maybe Metal Tronus. But if it was Runick Destruction, then there's also another lot
Does
of
he also have a thrust?
Well, that would be... I mean, that wouldn't do too much. Yeah, I think so. But there is no monster on the side of Connor's field, so the thrust won't probably do too much.
Oh, that's
a
a
normal summon. It's a big one.
odd one here because Ad is not activating the effect and the Kaiman is not banished yet. Therefore, now Connor knows there is definitely going to be a second Kaiman in the hand.
Something smells fishy here.
I think it's rather like it smells a bit burnt in here, right? It's the fire dragons going crazy, supported by the fire monster that is Kagari, of course,
With
and we
a
do
lot
get
of damage.
damage in here already before even activating the Kaiman.
Yeah, the biggest question is which card is set there on the side of Connor, because in hand there is nothing that he can use to stop the onslaught of Dragon Sangan Kaiman is being activated. It has to be a miracle card, but Connor is laughing, smiling through the pain possibly, because this is going to be a lot of damage. Chandra not banished, it is in the main deck, is going to be special summoned immediately because of the second effect of Sangan Kaiman. Chandra is now going to attack as well, I suppose.
Indeed,
Would be a
and
good
then
play.
in the damage step, he can also use its effect. And there is still Fadra in the deck as well. And Connor really... Oh, there is the Flashing Fire, but we all know that our quick effects in the battle phase, so we can just chain the Pydra or the Chandra, getting out the Biden, and then Biden will be happily bringing back the Chandra again here. There it is.
Yep.
And Connor knows it. They all know attack Chandra, Chandra effect in the damage step. And with that Father that we are about to summon, I think that's already enough damage on the field, meaning Ad and his Sky Striker Tenpai strategy will be advancing.